killing me, Smalls. Live from Strikers Sports Bar at Holiday Lanes in Weirton. High Valley Sports Online presents High School Football Coaches Show tonight, West Virginia style, as we welcome at 6 o'clock our first show. Frank Cicini from Weir High, Danny Rivera from Weirton Madonna, and then Mac McLean from the Brooke Bruins coming up a little bit later on. We welcome everyone here. We're our new home for getting the West Virginia coaches here at Strikers. You can see in the background, and we appreciate them sponsoring it. Charlie Whiteman and company doing a great job here. You get a chance to stop on out. They got all kind of food. They've remodeled the inside, and it just looks fantastic. So Frank Cicini joined us. Coach, first of all, congratulations being named the head coach of Weir High.
You know, I appreciate it. I was telling Metro News last night, you know, it's been a lifelong dream to be in charge of my own program. You know, I didn't know when, where, or how it was going to happen, or what program I'd end up maybe getting a shot at taking. But I was fortunate to get an opportunity here at Weir High School, a school with so much tradition and rich history. And I was just telling the kids today before I left the field about, you know, what they represent in that Weir High tradition. And I'm just so ecstatic to be part of this program and be the leader of it right now.
How did this come about to you being named the head coach of Weirton? You've been assistants at other places. How did this all happen for you?
Well, what happened was I was at Brooke High School for 10, 12 years and as an assistant, and I saw an opportunity up here in Hancock County, and you know, just take a shot at something different, you know, get a change the environment. So what happened was I reached out to Coach Enich at the time, and he said there might be a job open, and I took a shot on it, and I ended up interviewing, and before you know it, I got a phys ed job here at the high school, and became a defensive back coach, receivers coach with Tony. Tony was one of the driving forces to help, you know, bring me up here, and that's kind of how it unraveled. And then I've been here the last 8 years or so, and we've had a couple playoff runs. So to be part of a rebuild and to be part of something that's special at Weir High School and bring back the tradition, and being part of the, you know, athletes who've been around with Sebastian Spencer and you know, the Will Larches, and I go on, you know, of all the kids I've been around the last 8 years. But that's kind of how it happened.
Hey, Frank, first-year head coach, you getting any help from anybody, grabbing any advice from other coaches from Weirton's past, or anybody in the Valley as you called and asked for some advice? What should we do?
I'm always leaning on those guys, and, you know, I've been fortunate to be part of some programs. I've got a lot of help from Gus DiMarzio, Stumo High School.
Does that help?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some people might think differently. Paul Giulio, you know, there's guys I work with all the time. But, you know, there's a network here at Weir High School where, you know, George Spencer and these guys have been part of this program for years. And they're always teaching me, always ask for the Weir High way, you know, which, you know, I want to always have that tradition involved in what we're doing and, you know, something to build off. So those are the direct guys who are there. And I lean on my staff. I got a great staff. You know, we started this practice situation here in June with the pandemic, and in West Virginia we got some different guidelines. So I had to have each coach in charge of each group so we don't cross-contaminate each other. So I've had each coach, you know, Dave Cowden, Zach Hartman, I go on and on for the whole group, how they were there every day with those kids helping them work out.
How is that, you know, your first opportunity to be a head coach, and now you got to deal with all this BS off the field with the COVID and then on the field? So what was that like when you were first told that, you know, hey, things are going to be different. You're going to have to be spaced out. Or, I mean, I think there was like 38, 40 guidelines when it came out. So how was you able to navigate through all that?
Well, I can tell you this. My wife's the administrator at Brooke Middle School, so she helped me with the administrative side of it. So for that, just trying to make sure I had all my things covered when it comes to, like, administrative side of it. So I had her help me, and I leaned on you know, Coach Taylor, who's involved, been a head coach in the past. But each new head coach has a learning curve. Mine's very steep when it comes to, like, you know, the day-to-day operations, because being part of a program through the years and understanding where it usually is at this point, to where now one of the things I was doing today is I'm selling tickets because we're supposed to have no transactions at the gates. So now I'm in charge of collecting tickets off the kids and make sure this is divvied out to each kid and each family. You got to be sitting in certain areas. So that's something that we've done to alleviate the issues with our ADs. Our ADs have taken on a big burden. So we're helping that part out. So to answer your question, I'm doing some administrative stuff as well, so it's been a little bit of everything.
That's kind of weird. You know, you're involved in the tickets and everything, and you know, I mean, there's going to be hard feelings because you're only letting so many people in the stadium to play or to watch you guys. What's that like to deal with parents, alumni, season ticket holders, players.
Yeah, donors. You got money involved. So how they ruled it basically is your biological family or whoever lives under your house, under your roof, I should say. So from there, they just kind of like, it's an honor system, and you get X amount of tickets, and what they're going to do is let you come in, and you're going to naturally space out on your own, and you're going to space out yourself and social distance.
Is West Virginia like Ohio? It's 1,500 capped, or you go by a percentage of your stadium?
I believe it's a percentage because we only have so many that could fit in ours. We fit about 3,200 to 3,500, so it's a percentage. So how they basically did that is they put it to where just family, basic.
Family.
Your immediate family will be there, and the cheerleaders and the band, and then the coaches and essential staff is where they have some of them, your people, your press, your media, all that good stuff.
My nephew plays on the line for Dover, which I'll see him Friday night, but out Dover they give 6 tickets to the senior players, 4 to the juniors, 2 to the sophomores.
Yeah, and here's where it becomes a struggle because teenagers being teenagers,
right.
I give my spiel, I give them the tickets, they go off. What happens from there?
Right.
Hopefully it makes it to their house. Some of them it's in the bottom of the car. So we've had some issues where we've made it right where, hey, mom and dad might not have got it, so we reach out and try to take care of that for them because maybe they didn't get the tickets. But
it's going to be a black market too, right?
Oh, there was a joke.
All over the place.
There was a joke made about that today. There was some. I think Coach Granado brought that up.
Yeah.
We were talking. He's like, I can make some money if I just sit up there and up at the gate because we're actually going to have Weirton PD sitting at the gate, so you're not even going to make it up to the stadium unless you can flash your ticket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you ain't going to get up close. So, and that's a safety thing. So that's what they're looking at. We're fortunate. And I told the kids this as well. We were leaving the stadium that. Man, there's some schools in West Virginia that they just canceled last night. Fairmont Senior lost a game against Lincoln. They had a kid that had come down with it, and they quarantined the whole team, which meant there goes the game. So for us to be playing, we're very fortunate, and to have these guidelines in place, hey, if that's what we got to do to play some football on a Friday, I'll take it.
So what do you guys do? Are you testing kids or waiting to see how I've seen places where they get your temperatures, you come in, and then, go from there.
Well, we've been doing it from day one, so they check with our trainer, Mr. Hollister. They do a COVID check with screening on temperature. Then they get asked a series of questions of if they've been around anybody, the loss of taste, cough, any of that good stuff. And we go through the whole gamut. And then once they check through, then they go in with their mask, and they have to have it on unless they're going to be in a cardio situation. So they're basically going to wear that until they're elevated enough to where they don't have to use it. And I know some of it's a little bit crazy, but hey, if it's going to get us to play a game of football on a Friday, I'll take it.
Are you 9 minutes too? Like 9 minutes? You're only allowed to go 9 minutes, take a break? I'm just trying to clarify rules because I know in Ohio you can go for 9 minutes, stop. Got to take a minute, 30-second break, then you can go back.
No, there's nothing like that for us. So it's full go. We just got to monitor that ourselves based on what we see and if they're fatiguing. And we got the trainers involved, and a couple of our equipment guys are watching for us. So we're always hydrating, but they have to hydrate on their own. So they have to go to the sideline with their own water. All right, and go ahead.
How about on the sidelines for Friday night? Will you be? We were at the Harrison Catholic Central game last week, and they had like saucers. Okay, you stand here, and like 6 feet away, there's another saucer. Players that weren't in the game had to be spaced apart like that.
We didn't do that much. We don't have to, but we got coaches supposed to enforce that. We're going to do the best we can, so they're going to be spaced out.
That's a good thing. It's just tough to do. I don't know what was he doing. Taking a break
know,
already?
Playing
I thought that was my cutoff. I was like, all right, that was my cue.
Danny's rusty. It's the pandemic. We've been out a lot.
He experiments with music. Okay, let's talk about the team itself. I'm looking at the paper here from what I've seen. 7 returning seniors and 4 juniors. That's 11 out of ones you said 41 in the paper came. So that's 30 guys that are sophomores or freshmen. That's quite a bit, and that's not a big senior and junior class.
No, and I was just talking to Coach Granado about that today, and I was talking to Phil Rujak as well upstairs because we were doing the interview part for him on game night. We are in a rebuild when it comes to football maturity. For us, we have, like you said, about 25, 26, give or take, freshmen, sophomores combined, and then you throw in the fact we got 6 seniors and 5 juniors. So this is a situation where we're aware where we're at. We got some kids that have got some playing time, but we're going to have some kids out there that are going to finally see what it's like whenever the bullets start flying, so to speak.
You were talking about senior-wise. Who's the seniors that are coming back that got playing time for you guys?
Our biggest one we're leaning on is Jordan Brooke. He's our interior player, and He's our left guard, so he's going to be there. He's a mainstay. He's one of those blocks of granite that's up for WTOV 9 awards in the past. So he's a big one. You have Levi Hostetler, who's up front. He's a center. So a lot of our strengths up front when it comes to seniors. Ethan Cummins is another senior that's there. He's a kid, a quintessential team player where he was a fullback, and we asked him, hey, you got to move to guard because we're going to be moving a lot and doing some pulling. So, every guard likes to do that, but he was a fullback tight end, so he fits that mold to be able to do that. Casper Morera is a tight end that's going to be there for us, and he's going to be at times maybe at fullback, so he'll get some playing time there. Gage Ryder, he'll be playing receiver and some free safety. He's a returner for us we'll be leaning on. Anthony DeMattis, is another senior that, he split some time last year with Sebastian Spencer, so it's more that 1-2 punch that we were doing last year. Obviously the game breaker Sebastian is, and, for us to have a quarterback that's got some time under center is really going to be beneficial for us. So
he had some big numbers. I mean, in a reserve role, 30 out of 36. That's pretty good. 454 yards, touchdown. Also ran 51 times for 166 yards. So you're not coming in completely green with him. He's somebody that's got some experience.
Right, and you hit the nail on the head because he's a kid that we told him we're not going to do anything special where he has to win the game himself. He's going to manage it, and he's going to go ahead and play. It's going to be built off our play action. We got a really nice tailback coming back with Jamari Bass. So he'll be there, and we're a downhill football team. If you notice, I mentioned a lot of seniors up here on the line. So it's all going to be built off play action. That's, what we need from Anthony is, hey, manage the game. Don't do anything that you don't got to force, and take what they give you, that old quote there.
Schedule-wise in West Virginia, are you like a full schedule? Are you guys going 10 games? Or are you going
6? 9 right now, right?
We have 9, and what happened was because what happened in Ohio, we lost Edison and East Liverpool. Okay. So in week 6, that's cut off, correct? So
correct.
Right.
What happened there is we lost those games, so we had some movement. The state of West Virginia had lost. We had bumped the first one, which was our Oak Glen opener, which is the big, rival game. So I talked to Coach Arnaud, and we had both agreed if we weren't going to scrimmage that, hey, let's hold on in case something happens in Ohio. If Mike DeWine makes a decision on playing time with you guys, that we'll go ahead and bump to week 8. So our Oak Glen game now becomes week 8, and that puts us in a situation where we get that rivalry game back.
You got a Martins Ferry in week 5. Is that still on, Fred?
That's still on. So actually that will be the last game that they play of the regular season in Ohio. But that's right there at the midway point. So Ferry will be in there, and we go off to Marietta as well. So we'll be going down there to play on the road. And then we're actually working on trying to get a game Independence, which is it's a jaunt. So, I know you guys, if you know much about the Beckley area, this is about 20 minutes east of Beckley into the mountains. So we're holding on that one just in case if we get a ruling from the governor. We're worried about putting deposits on charter buses and all this stuff in rooms before we make that decision. So I've talked to Coach Lilly at Independence, and he said, hey, if we can make it happen, we will. But it's not a rush, but I want to play. So if we can get down there, we're going to try to do that. So that one's to be announced, but we're working on Independence. But right now, that's a schedule at this point.
Usually in West Virginia, it's a 10-game schedule, but there's a bye week, so you can end the same time that Ohio does. And now you don't have a bye week. So are you going to be able to get a 10th game, or are you going to try and get a 10th game? Or
okay, so how it works in West Virginia, you get 11 weeks.
Play 10 games.
Play 10. So Coach Roberto had always put week 11 is the bye. So if you had a playoff situation, you get healthy. So he chose to do that. Every coach has their own philosophy. Some like in the middle of the season to get rested up, but he chose to do that because what we used to do as assistants, we hit the road and go scout.
Yeah.
So he kept week 11 before he resigned, and then we went ahead and honored it. So that Independence game could happen. I know it's listed there, but that's to be announced. That's not official yet.
Right.
But that's where that's at. So week 11 is the Independence. If not, we'll have a bye there.
Let's talk a minute. We were talking about offense. What kind of offense do you like? I mean, you replace a coach that likes a certain way, and now here you come in there with your own ideas and your things. So is your offense different from Coach Roberto's, or is it based along the same things?
Well, there's some layers to it with us. The first layer is we didn't want to go into too much verbiage and changing because we didn't know what kind of connection we'd have with these boys with the pandemic. So we had a lot of Zoom meetings and things like that. So we decided as staff, hey, let's go ahead and keep a lot of familiarity so these boys can have some recall based on what we're going to do if we're going to have the time. So it worked out. We had some time. So a lot of our verbiage is the same, but I'm a believer that at the high school level, you got to adapt. So at the next level, you draft it or you recruit it. So we're going to adapt to our personnel. We'll be more of a downhill team. We'll be a power eye team. A little isolation, we'll hit the boundary. So for us, we're going to get the ball through Jamari Bass's hands and get some play action, like I explained to you with Anthony DeMattis with our playing downfield.
Okay, the We're High Coaches Show with head coach Frank Cecchini being brought to you by Stryker Sports Bar here at the Holiday Lanes in downtown Weirton. Stop in, have a drink, check out the shows. We're going to take a time out. We'll be back with more with Coach after these words.
Downtown Steubenville. Just bring in your prescription and save.
Ace Optical, we've got your look.
Hauser's, Steubenville's first family of furniture, is celebrating 75 years of serving the Ohio Valley. Could not have accomplished this without the loyalty of all our customers. To say thank you, we are offering the largest savings store-wide. 75 years of savings on sofas, recliners, bedroom suites, and dinette sets. Unheard of pricings on carpet, flooring, and appliances too. If you need it, remember, for the past 75 years,
Hauser's has it.
Hauser's has it all.
Now there's a form of transportation you can trust. Transmart USA. Transmart USA is in need of drivers. Transmart is a non-emergency medical transportation company servicing 3 states looking for qualified drivers with an excellent driving record. Maybe you're bored with your current job or retired and looking for something rewarding to do. Well then, give Transmart a call today. It's toll-free, 866-693-6900. Remember, a background check along with a DOT physical and drug testing are required. Get on board with Transmart USA today. 866-693-6900. A proud sponsor of Ohio Valley Sports Online.
At Softite Community Federal Credit Union, you are part of a family. Softite is special because they give members an opportunity to own the financial institution where they do their saving and borrowing. At Softite, they often charge less for loans and pay more for savings than other types of financial institutions. Softite is convenient. They're also a not-for-profit institution. All income, after meeting expenses and reserve needs, is distributed to you, the members, in the form of dividends on savings, competitive loan rates, and improved services. Softites give members a chance to participate in decision-making, something that no other financial institution offers. At Softite Community Federal Credit Union, you are family.
Welcome back, everyone, to Stryker's Bar, right here located in downtown Weirton at the Holiday Lanes. Jim Huggins, Billy Ellis, Coach Frank Cecchini of the Weir High Red Riders, whose coach's show is on now. Coach, there's a couple of things. Let's talk a moment about defense, and then we'll get into your first game against John Marshall. So what kind of defensive philosophy are you bringing? Are you a guy who likes to blitz? Are you a guy who likes to sit back? Or are you a guy who likes to react? What kind of defense are you going to have?
Well, I can tell you this. Since 2012, we had went after and started to implement the 4-2-5 defense. So for us, it's a defense that adapts because, man, if you don't make a move now, you're a sitting duck in the way these offenses are ran with the read options and everything. So for us, the 4-2-5 adapts, so it puts us in situations based on what we see in the backfield. So if we get multiple backs, we'll change to this. So with that, it puts a lot of adjustments and things on our kids. So that's what we rep the most daily in practice is they got to go and communicate and talk to each other, and that's just enough alone. I get on them all the time because they talk all day in school, then I get them in the football field and they want to be quiet. So we joke about that, but that's basically how it's ran. We 4-2-5 adapts, so that's where we're at. So we got a lot of moving parts.
I see that I'm looking at the roster, and this came out to me in the paper. Your freshman class has a lot, and one of those is a special person, Sophie Diaz, a female on your team, right?
Yeah, you know what? She had come out, and that'd be the third girl I've coached. So, we treated you. You're a football player, so she was around us, and then it didn't work out because the COVID issues, and she decided not to be around it.
Okay.
But we had Alyssa Shingle, who was there prior.
Her.
Yeah, Cody Shingle, if you guys know Cody.
Yep.
She was a soccer player, and then she was a really good kicker for us. She was actually our lone kicker, so she actually had accumulated some points there in the UVC standings, which we thought was really cool.
Yeah.
So that's where that was with her.
All right, John Marshall, you got him at home on Friday night, tomorrow night, and what can you tell us about the Monarchs? We know they're a lot of times they try to run the ball. They've had some good running back stuff there. So what are you expecting from them tomorrow night?
Well, we went down and watched them last Friday down in Moundsville. and Coach Lewis or Coach Willis, I'm sorry, does a great job with his program. It's very similar to what we do offensively. So it's a fullback, tight end, power offensive set. They'll jump into some spread. So for us, we sat and watched them, but it's hard to get a good feel because with them limiting scrimmages, we're sitting there where, all right, we only get X amount of reps to see these guys, and then, same thing for them, what they watch us. So he's trying to find out who's going to quarterback that team. We might see a split reps, but we saw split reps in the scrimmage, so we're preparing for both. So we're aware of the situation, and he's going to be very similar to what he did last year. For us, we know they were 1-4 to start the season, and they got hot at the end. So, they finished 4-6, so they put the string of wins together. So we believe, looking back at some things that they've done in the past, that he's probably going to hang his hat on that, the way they were playing towards the end of the year. But I know you'd mentioned earlier, too, they losing 22 seniors.
Right.
So. But they've got large numbers anyway, so I don't know if that really affects them a whole lot.
That's a big school, right? It's in that
AAA.
AAA.
Oh, one of the biggest schools in the state.
Yeah.
So you're talking 1,500 students, where Weir has about 630 when it comes to enrollment.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're talking about scouting. I know it's tough to scout, but, because everybody likes to do a chart. What's their tendencies? If this guy's in the game, do you go back on film from John Marshall just to see what he's done in the past and try to game plan on what they did in
Absolutely.
the past?
If we can get an edge in any way, we'll go and do that. So for us, it's really hard to crunch numbers when you're looking at a scrimmage situation, because in some situations they might put a dummy number on some of these guys. I don't know for sure that's their number. So teams have done that in the past, but we'll try to do that. We'll look at some tendency, but when you don't have a running clock and you have chains, maybe half the scrimmage, because usually in West Virginia you have a split scrimmage where you have coaches on the field, and then you'll do game-like with substitutions. Yeah. Well, what we did, we just scrimmaged Kaiser. Me and Coach Stevens agreed, like, hey, let's split it in half and go half with the kids and coaches on the field and half with the sticks, so that we get game-like, and then you get the headsets, everyone in the box. So we married both scrimmages into one. Yeah. So to answer that, we tried, but we tried to narrow as best we could and play maybe the tendency of the coordinator if they have a returning guy there.
How anxious are the kids now after hitting each other for the last several weeks or so, finally get to put on the pads and the new uniforms for real tomorrow night? They got to be thrilled.
They are thrilled, and I told them don't take it for granted, because I said, some schools aren't even get to play. So they're ready. We've all played the game, and we know after a while it's like, okay, that monotonous, same, I don't care what sport it is. You're like, all right, until you see that opponent, and then, that internal fire starts to get going. So that's the cool part when you sit and you watch that happen on a Friday, where they see, they get it. They start to understand all the things you've been talking about, and then they put it together on the field. So, yeah, they're ready. I can tell you that. They're ready.
How about you and your staff? Are you ready?
Oh, yeah. I've been sitting there watching film for too long. Now I'm ready, because there's that eyeball test, too, until you see them. Like, you see a guy in pregame. You watch a guy in huddle, and all of a sudden it's like, uh-oh. You see him in pregame, like he's pretty good. So that eyeball test, that usually happens in pregame when you see these guys running routes and stuff. So, yeah, I'm ready. I'm anxious, and for me, and this is a special moment. Because it's my turn. Yeah, I've been around so many guys, and it's my turn, and I'm fortunate and excited to take that responsibility. And I told everyone at the school, hey, I want to represent you and you guys from Weirton the best I can. And, it's my goal, and it's my turn, and I'll try to do that the best I can for you.
Until you get that 4th and 5 call, and you got to make that call. Real
oh yeah,
ready to go.
Yeah, because a lot of people understand. I'm used to making decisions fast because of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's like, all right, I got to make a decision. Now what? All right, we'll see who's there.
I think that's going to be cool as heck for you tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe your family or somebody's filming it, because when you come out of the this tunnel or whatever you're coming out of for the first time, as being the head coach, and soak all that in, because once the game starts, you're into the game. But that half hour or so before the game starts, when you're coming out there, I think it's gonna be a great feeling for you.
Yeah, I tell the kids all the time, if I could bottle that up and sell it, I'd be a millionaire, because I don't care what athletic event it is, football, basketball, baseball. When you get in that, all right, you start to get that lead up to the game, it's that natural high. That's what drives us. I told the guys, we don't get paid a lot, but that's the payday. Those game days, that's payday for us.
I see this picture in the paper. You got a hat on. Is that your official hat?
Yeah, that's the official hat, but they caught us there. They were in a situation, too, where Joe Catullo came over, and he's like, all right, I need a picture real quick. So we lined the kids up. We were practicing pretty hard at that moment, so we all stopped for him and got a photo op. So, yeah, that'll be the hat, the official hat tomorrow night. If that answers it, yeah.
That's going to be fun. Now, okay, I got one more question. When you come out, you send your captains out. Receive or defer? Do you want the ball? Do you want to get started right away and see what you got? Or you?
I'm a guy that likes to defer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll happen that way, but we'll be sending one captain. Can't send them all because of
right.
quarantine or social distancing, we'll call it. But I'm a guy who likes to go defense 3 and out, and then get the ball to start second half.
You're a defensive guy. That's why you're a defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So being part of that, I was a co-coordinator for years and working with some good ones. So for me, 3 and out is the way to go, and then get the ball back second half, and then maybe get a drive there to score, maybe flip it. So for us, I'll take it.
Well, Frank, we appreciate coming on today, man.
I appreciate it, guys. I really had a good time with it.
Hope you get a win.
Hey,
well, we'll
me
see
too.
you again next
if you guys
Thursday.
need anything, I apologize for being a little bit late.
Right.
We were a little late
so
on
you
the
come
turf.
early next week.
I'll do that if you need me to. I got you. Whatever you need, guys.
All right, Coach.
All right.
Thanks.
All right.
Head Coach Frank Cincinnati of Weir High. Let's take a timeout. We'll be back with Weirton Madonna head coach Dan Revere after these words.
Who do you call to rid your home of those dreaded uninvited guests? Well, if those guests are pests like bedbugs, ants, roaches, fleas, spiders, yuck, you gotta call JC Pest Control, 740-381-5928. If it's a pest, they can take care of it, especially those nasty bedbugs. JC Pest Control is available 24/7. They are licensed and insured, and they do residential and commercial work. Call them now to get rid of those uninvited pests. JC Pest Control, 740-381-5928.
The meaning of cleaning, there's one name you gotta know. Apollo Pro Cleaning. Clean floor to ceiling. Apollo Pro Cleaning is the meaning of cleaning.
This high school event is brought to you by AT&T on Sunset via the AT&T wireless network. Remember, don't text and drive, it can wait. AT&T on Sunset is a proud sponsor of this high school event.
Looking for help with your financial needs? Deanna Ball & Company has a full staff of certified CPAs that have been serving you since 1949. No matter how big or small, get the personalized professional service and senior management involvement that you deserve. Call us today.
Test the Machine Company, located in Sloven, PA, is one of the most efficient repair and manufacture machine shops in the Ohio Valley. They are your all-around solution partner for machine, fabricating, welding, and industrial repairs. They're very proud sponsors of all area teams, and their philosophy is to keep the customer needs as top priority. Test the Machine Company is a very successful business with over 80 years of experience. Check them out at testa-machine.com. Test the Machine is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
This is Ohio Valley Sports Online, your connection to Ohio Valley sports. Listen anywhere in the world from any connected device, smartphone, tablets, iPads, and computers. Ohio Valley Sports Online brings you live game action from the guys with over 50 years in radio sports broadcasting.
Valley Converting, located in Toronto, Ohio, purchases paper products from the public daily. Valley Converting is a manufacturer and converter of 100% recycled paperboard. For information or questions about Valley Converting products and services, contact them at 740-537-2152. Valley Converting is located on South 4th Street in Toronto, Ohio. Take your paper recyclables to them and convert them into cash. Valley Converting is a proud sponsor of this broadcast. The Steubenville Bakery has the best Italian bread and hard rolls in the Ohio Valley. They're open Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. It's been a tradition since 1937. They are located at 525 South Street. That's Steubenville Bakery, the best Italian bread and hard rolls in the Ohio Valley.
Naples Spaghetti House since 1923, located in downtown Steubenville at 329 North Street. Great food, great bread, and great atmosphere. You can dine in or call in to carry out. They have monthly and weekly specials. Just visit NaplesSpaghettiHouse.com to see all the current specials, or look them up on Facebook. Naples Spaghetti House in Steubenville is closed on Mondays and open 11 to 7 Tuesday through Friday and noon to 7 on weekends. To call in an order, it's 740-283-3405. 740-283-3405. 3405. Naples Spaghetti House since 1923.
Hauser, Steubenville's first family of furniture, is celebrating 75 years of serving the Ohio Valley. Could not have accomplished this without the loyalty of all our customers. To say thank you, we are offering the largest savings store-wide. 75 years of savings on sofas, recliners, bedroom suits, and dinette sets. Unheard of pricings on carpet, flooring, and appliances too. If you need it, remember, for the past 75 years,
Hauser's has it.
Hauser's has it all.
Mac McLean.
Are we on the air?
We are now.
Oh.
Say hi.
Say that. Hello. Lucky you told me that.
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone, to Stryker Sports Bar here at the Holiday Lanes in downtown Weirton. Jim Huggins, Jason Jenkins, Dan Vogel under control. Joined now by Weirton Madonna head coach Dan Revere. And I guess my first question is, we haven't seen each other in a while. You're looking really good.
Thanks. Doctor told me to.
Well, yeah, I hear you. But I don't listen to my doctor. So, hey, let's talk about your path to get to Madonna. What have you been doing up until being named, and how did you get named head coach?
It's been a long path, I'll be honest with you. I've been waiting 28 years to be a head coach. I've been a coordinator for a long time. I left the Valley after 2013, I do believe, at Oak Glen. I went back to High 1 year with Tony Faberto, and my best friend from college called me and told me he got the head coaching job at Ambridge in Pennsylvania. So I went with him there. I was there for 3 years, and then went to Our Lady of Sacred Heart. He got that job. And then I got a phone call from Madonna after 5 years at Osh, and I applied for the job, and I got it.
Oh, so they called you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they called me. There's a rumor going around, so I talked with, I talked to people in town.
Yeah.
And then I called, and we talked about the job be open, so I applied.
So how did that go? When they call you in, and what are they asking you in those kind of interviews? I've never been on a coaching interview.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, Jax. It's not a lot of football. A lot about character, a lot about no disrespect to people asking questions, but a lot of people don't really understand the game. They're actually questions, but it's not really football. It's more situations. What would you do if this happens? If a kid does this, what would you do?
Oh, yeah.
That kind of stuff. How you deal with parents, that kind of stuff.
Especially at a Catholic school.
Yes. And I got lucky coming from a Catholic school, so I kind of understood it, yes.
So now you replaced Aaron Hicks, who resigned after their regular season last year. They made the playoffs. He was there for 4 years. Now you get your start. Hopefully you're there a lot longer, I hope.
I hope so, too.
And you got some talented kids coming back. But since you've been having your practices, I don't know how many you've had, but let's first talk about the COVID thing, which is what everybody talks about. When you got named head coach, how weird was it this is your first time just like Frank.
Yeah.
And now you got to deal with all this BS with the COVID and all these restrictions and all this stuff and the manuals and stuff like that. What was that like getting started?
Yeah, I was so excited when I got in February. We were lifting weights, that kind of stuff, and then we couldn't lift weights to school, so we went to a gym in town, and I heard Ohio was just shut down, so I knew we were. So the next day we shut down, and I'm very bad with this computer stuff. So my wife taught me how to do the Zoom thing, how to do the text, the group messaging. So I did that too. We kept in contact. I texted kids every day. I bet you every other day I text them. It was tough because they only had so many kids last year, so I needed more kids out. So I was trying to get kids out that were in the school that played before, and I got lucky. I got 4 seniors that came out that played before. I got a couple of new kids, and I lost a few, but that's what happens with a new coach.
That's always hard. Like you guys, Catholic Central, Cameron, places that are Cameron's got a small community, but with a Catholic school, of getting kids to come out. I remember when Bob Kramer was the coach, and he even told me, he said, Jags, because I had to walk the halls trying to get kids to come out. Kids today have so much more that they can do. They're involved with computers, they're involved with, soccer, whatever, that takes their attention away from. And it's hard to get enough kids committed to the game of football because it's a huge, probably their biggest commitment.
Yeah, and I agree with you. The public, no one wants to pay tuition. Times are tough. It's as simple as that. Times are tough.
Right.
And the problem is the kids nowadays, they want to play one sport, which I don't understand. Maybe I'm old school. I don't know. My kid plays many sports we can. I don't understand how you just play one sport at all at a small Catholic school. With 100, I just don't understand it. I can't wrap my head around it.
It makes no sense to commit to one thing because if you don't do well in that stuff, then you're like going, what if?
Yeah.
What have I done? Jay Sircosta was a perfect example to me. He told me when I used to do the Greyhound games, he and I did the games. He said, Jags, he goes, I want every one of my players to play basketball, to wrestle, to play baseball, to play track and field. Get out there and do all these things because not only is it helping you, to expand or grow your horizon, but you're also keeping in shape if you want to come back for football next year. So
and you're competing.
Yeah,
like
you're competing in different sports.
What was it? Nick Saban, guy from Michigan State. They've all said we want kids that play multi-sport.
Yeah. Jason, I watched the games this weekend at Get-Go High School thing, and every announcer said that recruiters want kids to play more than one sport.
Yeah.
And just kids are not anymore.
Or you're keeping active. You're keeping in shape. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, if I play football and say, I'm going to wait for baseball. Well, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know, baseball is a springtime sport. You can't really, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And you eat more, you get heavier, you get lazier.
Yeah, and I know people are going to get mad at me saying this, but the AAU stuff hurts us.
Oh,
the travel baseball hurts us. Summer baseball, fall softball, fall baseball, it hurts us. It's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
I know people get mad when I say that, but it is true. It's just true.
So how have the kids reacted to you as far as getting used to the way you coach? I don't know if you are if you're a gung ho guy that gets in their face or just teaches them. But what's
I am a yeller. I'm
Yeah.
pretty enthusiastic. Coach Hicks. I don't know him real good, but I think he was way laid back than I am. So I did kick the kids a little bit. Used to get to. I practiced 2-a-days. It's the first time they went through 2-a-days, actual 2-a-days, like practicing 3 hours, taking a break, practicing the 3 hours. They handled it pretty well. You know how kids are. I mean, listen.
I'd rather have a coach that's coming at me and loud and stuff like that. I mean,
and you know how kids are. They always adapt. They're worried. People worry about the kids can do this and that. They're going to adapt. I mean, kids are kids. They want leadership. They want responsibility. I really believe that.
Yeah.
I really, truly believe that.
So you bring out the Dan Rivera from the old
I
the
do.
big word from the softball.
Wait, what's
Yes.
what's this name? I've never heard this name. I mean, all those years I did your softball, umpire games. I never heard
Big Worm.
Big Worm. Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know, man. Play with all the guys. They call me Big Worm.
I never
That's how
heard
you
of
have
that.
to break.
And they still call me it.
But no, because Dan, when we played softball, he first he was our competition, but then we joined together, and he was
Always in the dirt.
like us. I mean, he was like, you know what, nose to nose. We don't care who you are. We're gonna punch you in the mouth. You gotta punch us in the mouth.
And I'll be honest, per example, we haven't played Williams Central for a long time. I picked them up.
Good.
Week 9.
Well, I'm glad
I want
to
to play our
that.
schedule better. We got Wahama. We got a couple of bigger schools that we want to play.
Yeah, you got
We wanna
Catholic
play.
Central.
Catholic
Magnolia.
Central, yep. We got Tug Valley, second game.
You got. It looks like your roster from looking at the paper is top heavy with seniors and juniors. Only 8 underclassmen, sophomores, and freshmen.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to be a point that's going to need to be addressed in the next year or two.
Especially with the Junior Don program. I tried to get that started, and the virus hurt me. We had plans to start, and we had the uniforms, had the helmets, and then we get hit with this COVID. I mean, it just really put me back a little bit. And I know we can't survive until we get a junior high program. It's as simple as that.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I had more freshmen come out, but they commit and then they go to public school. I don't know where they go. We just lose them. You know what I mean?
Like we talked about the one kid.
Yeah, the money, everything else. It just, but we're building it. We're trying, and I think winning helps.
Yeah,
I think it does.
absolutely
I think it does.
I see that. It says here you guys lost about I don't think like 11 seniors, some really good players. Brendan Seacrest, Angelo Quattrocchi.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't pronounce that.
Sure.
And some other guys, and you're leading ground game and Roman Barrett, but you have a pretty good amount of talent of guys coming back, especially in the key position, your quarterback.
Yes, quarterback's back. Had a big year last year, 2,000 yards. I got a tailback back. I think I got 1, 2. I think I got 4 offensive linemen that played.
Nice.
I got Lucky Pulis, who was a tailback for them last year. He's a slot receiver for us. I got a nice little slot receiver, Colton Wilton. I got good skill.
Yeah, so
I
also-
have good skill.
I said also you had plans. I think he was your number 2 receiver last year, and Sessi.
Yes.
And you're moving him back to tailback, right?
Exactly
Yeah, I
right.
saw
He's
that.
playing a little both. He's playing. I got a big fullback came out. Evan Daniels, who's a wrestler, plays as a freshman, sophomore, didn't play as a junior.
Yeah.
When Sessi's in the slot receiver, Daniels will be our tailback.
You got, 3-year Letterman and Sessi Seuss, Bonner Smith, so that's a good nucleus there.
And
You
I'm
also
happy-
got a transfer from Eau Glen,
Yes.
Seth Humberson.
Hubbard's a tough kid, tough junior, plays end for us in a tailback position. Pretty good player.
So what kind of offense are you going to run? I mean, as a new coach coming in, we asked Frank that the same question because they're used to whatever Coach Hicks had before. Are you taking things from him, using his offense, starting your own? Or how are you going about with that?
We came in the season, not the season. We came in the summertime thinking we were going to run the ball about 60-40. We changed our mind a little bit. We're going to have to throw to set the run, but we're going to run counter trey. We run a little inside zone. We pin and pull, a little buck sweep. We're going to throw the ball. We're going to throw the ball on the perimeter. We have good wide receivers. We're going to play a fast pace, no huddle.
Yeah.
We can huddle when we
That
want.
doesn't happen that often.
No. Yeah, we're gonna turn around, look, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna go fast. And we're gonna try to give. We need an advantage. I mean, we only have 24 kids. We need some kind of advantage, and we feel our skill guys are advantage right now.
So you've only had about 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe to implement this stuff. So how are the kids responding to the no huddle? I mean, do you have like keys? Okay, as soon as my guy's tackled, bust tail back up, get back up there and get going again?
No, what we're doing is our offensive line is going to get to the ball 1 yard behind the ball. They're going to look at the quarterback. Our coaches are going to call in. Quarterbacks going to give it to the line. They're going to turn around, and we're going. We're going.
How about in West Virginia and Ohio? We did a game last week where the guard took the football back to the huddle. They put a bean bag there, and then when he came back out, he gave it to the center, and he put it on the bean.
We do not do that.
Nothing like that.
Not in West Virginia. Just when we play Ohio school, our center's got to hold the ball, put the ball. It's only cheat a little bit, but that good Catholic won't cheat.
Well, I don't understand.
So the ball's going to stay on the ground? I mean, he doesn't bring it back to the huddle?
In West Virginia, we just give it to the ref. In Ohio, I guess my guy got carried back to the huddle.
Yeah, that's kind of,
The ref in Ohio does not want to touch the ball. I mean,
listen, I get it. And
I don't.
I'm the big
wear gloves.
I get it
Right?
because everybody's afraid of COVID-19. But if you're around the kids and you're sweating in that, I don't think the ball, and that's just my personal opinion, I don't think by placing the ball on the ground.
Don't put gloves on.
I brought this up to our Ohio coaches last night, and I said, when you have, with all this COVID, everybody's worried about, breathing on it and all this stuff. Your wide receivers, your defensive backs, guys that got to spread out around the field. Your two lines, your offensive defense, 5, 6 guys on each side. Those are the guys that are going head-to-head every single play. How about your linemen? Do any of them want to wear masks? Do you want them to wear masks? Nothing?
No. You know what? We were going to buy masks, and I read an article. Toledo's coach said that they wore the mask in practice, and the kids complained like they felt like they were in an oven.
Yeah, it's hard to breathe.
So we just bought these gaiters, and you only have to wear them if you're on the sideline and your helmet's off. Like if I call timeout and they take their helmet, it's going to roll in their face.
I thought more teams would do the clear plastic shield. Like my sister's a hairdresser, and she has to wear that. I've seen somebody earlier wearing one of those things. As a lineman, I mean, you have that space here and here. I mean, it was easy probably to fit a shield inside of there, but I guess of the kids, you don't want to be encumbered by any of that kind of stuff.
No,
it's hard enough to breathe.
Yeah, the worst part about the COVID-19 is we take the bus. We have a 2-hour trip on Friday. You got to wear your mask. It's a tough one. I don't care who you are. It's tough 2 hours. It's tough 2 hours the whole time. That's a tough one.
I mean, are the kids allowed to just sit where they want?
We have 2 buses. Thank God Hancock County gives us 2 buses. So with 24 kids, I got 12 and 12. The coaches, we're pretty spread out. You still got to wear your mask. It's tough. And I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't want everybody to get mad. I'm not worried about my kids giving it to each other. I'm worried them going out the sheets, going to I don't know where, and bringing it back. And I'm not sure if
kids are kids. They want to get together with their friends.
And I'll be honest with you, and I know what they're saying, but after our kids, we social distance in practice, we lift weights outside. They're getting in the same car and going home together.
Right.
Just, I don't know. We want to be safe.
And now you're back in school, too.
Yes,
right?
you're back in school. The vacations hurt. The vacations got scared. People go to Myrtle Beach, they come back to practice.
So we had a rule Saturday. I was there in June, too. I'm fine. I tested twice negative.
So they made a rule if you go to Myrtle Beach, you come back, you can't be to us for 14 days.
Insane. That's insane because
they did.
It is. It's stupid because you don't. I mean, you know how big Myrtle Beach is. They act like you're walking through Mingo and getting it. You know.
You, Jack,
I mean, it's so stupid.
Hancock County made that rule. If you went on vacation to Myrtle Beach, you came back 14 days
and
out.
nobody's getting it in the Outer Banks, and nobody's getting it Hilton Head. Come on, give me a break.
I agree.
No, we didn't have it.
Picking on my vacation. Huh? All right, let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get more involved. We'll talk about your defense and about your upcoming opponent against Magnolia. Right after these words, we'll be back.
Gotcha.
The meaning of cleaning, there's one name you gotta know. Apollo Pro Cleaning. Clean floor to ceiling. Apollo Pro Cleaning is the meaning of cleaning.
Looking for help with your financial needs? Deanna Ball & Company has a full staff of certified CPAs that have been serving you since 1949. No matter how big or small, get the personalized professional service and senior management involvement that you deserve. Call us today.
When you need electrical work for your home or business, you need it done right the first time. The IBEW provides professional electrical contractors and tradesmen that undergo extensive training and apprenticeships to ensure the best service and safety for your electrical needs. Our quality jobs in the community fuel our economy with quality workmanship. We're your International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and we are trained to electrify.
I gotta love the fall. Cooler air, golden leaves, birds singing. Unfortunately, the fall also brings uninvited guests like mice and other rodents. I got no love for them. Fortunately, my pest specialist, JC Pest Control, is such a welcome sight. They take care of all the uninvited guests of fall. You need to call JC Pest Control to rid the rodents of fall. 740-389-9999. 740-381-5928. That's 740-381-5928. JC Pest Control. They rid the pests big and small.
Want to become a sponsor of this online sports broadcast? It's easy. Look us up on Facebook under Ohio Valley Sports Online. Drop us a message right on our wall or shoot us an email. More bang for your buck. Why? Because it's not radio. It's an online internet sports broadcast with unlimited and endless potential for you. Why settle for less when you can advertise with the best? Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Welcome back, everyone, to Striker Sports Bar here at Holiday Lanes in downtown Weirton. You get a chance to stop by, do a little golfing, a little eating. Best food around. I mean, I eat here all the time. I bowl on Wednesday nights. I eat like I'm going to the electric chair. But talking with Weirton Madonna head coach Dan Revere. And, okay, so now your first year. So let's talk a little bit defensively. We talked about the offense. Are you a guy that's going to put your imprint on the defense? I know you probably have a defense coordinator, but what kind of defense is Madonna looking at?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I am the defense coordinator. That changed in 2 weeks. My offensive coordinator got called out to go to Texas because of storms.
Oh.
He works for an electric company. So I moved the defense coordinator to call the offense, and I'm calling the defense right now. So I'm very excited about it. I think that's the most work we need on the defensive side. When I was coming into this program, I felt that was the weakest area of the team was defensively.
Yeah. Are you running a 4-3, 3-4, 4-2-5? What's your defense?
We are running you call it what you want, 4-2-5. It's a 4-4. Yeah. It's just, you have different coverages. Your outside backer is actually a safety guy, but it's going to look like a 4-4. We're going to play 2 read. We're going to play cover 3 to one side, 2 read the other side, but it's a 4-4.
Right. How about special teams? Nobody seems to talk about special teams. That's a big part of the game. How strong are you in kicking, punting?
I'm nervous, but I'll be honest with you. I know. I told my coaches today, everybody complains in the stands when something goes wrong, but they don't work on it. I promise you, we have worked on it from day one.
Yeah.
We do special teams every day.
Listen, I always there's not enough emphasis, especially on kicking and punting. I seen a guy the other night. He just threw the football up in the air to punt it. And I'm like, what are you doing over there?
Yeah.
But when I was coaching younger kids, like flag football, I said, listen, I got 22 kids on my team. I'm going to find a punter.
Yeah.
I'm auditioning every one of these guys, and then I'm going to narrow down. I'm going to find me a punter, and the same guy's going to kick off. I see kicking in the Ohio Valley isn't really that good. I mean,
I don't know. I have 24 kids, so you can imagine how hard it is to find a kicker. I have a lineman who can punt. Makes me nervous with bad snap. Nothing against my lineman. I have a skill guy there, but he's the best punter. He does kick off for us. It's nerve-wracking. I'll be honest with you. It's not. And we work on it, but with 24 kids, you're going to go live so much, special teams. It's just what it is.
I just wanted to ask you, you mentioned the 24 kids. Are a majority of them, they're probably going to play both ways.
I have some guys playing one way, but you're right. Majority guys are, but we do have 24 good ones, so we are be able to rest guys. We have backups. Yes, we do have quality backups at some position. Some we don't. Don't get me wrong. Like we may have one safety that can play safety and corner. I have a defensive end who can play, those kind of things.
That's going to help you out.
Yes, yes, it is.
Have you lost some kids? I mean, the paper says you have 27, 3 people.
At one time, I had 29. I don't know why. Maybe the practice too. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Switch from.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. And I get it. Listen, either you like me or don't like me. I don't know what it is. You know what? And the bad thing about it.
You're only hurting yourself.
Yeah, they did in the summer. We weren't even doing anything. All we were doing was conditioning, lifting weights.
I'm going to tell you a story. When Bud Billiard was coach at Brooke, okay, I saw a friend of mine's father down Fallsby Community Days, and he told me, I said, hey, your kid get ready for me. I'm not letting my kid play. I don't like billiard. I said, you're an idiot because your kid only has theoretically 3 years.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Try and wait the guy out? He's not going anywhere. So you're just sticking it to your kid. I mean, I never understand.
You're going to tell your kid, I'm not going to let you work that job. I'm not going to.
Come on.
Which is ridiculous. Exactly right.
Setting him up for.
When I was in high school, my coach said, "Don't play for me. Play for your buddies."
Yeah.
Exactly right. I don't know why they quit. But I'll be honest with you, Jax, since I came back to the area, a lot of teams don't have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a guy got 35, 34. There used to be a big program I was there. We used to get 60, 50 kids.
Somebody's right on some of these bigger schools too. You think that you're going to have a lot more kids on. You get more to choose from. But
I don't know. I don't know work ethic. I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. Commitment. Yeah. I just don't know.
We've talked about it before, Dan. There's so much more things that they can do. Some of these kids want to go play soccer. They want to be on their phone the whole time. They want to go. There's not, because of the advent of social media and all this stuff that's happened over the last 5-10 years. Kids have so many more options, and they don't want option A, which is to play football.
And they're usually bad options.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against
Right,
nobody.
right,
Usually
right,
bad
right.
options. I mean, I
Well,
don't
I would say a
understand it.
lazier option.
Yeah,
black
maybe
option.
so. And to be honest with you, Jags, and parents get mad at me. I blame the parents. Once my kid started the sport, he can't quit once he
You're not
started.
allowed to quit.
He can quit the following year and not go out. But once he starts the sport,
Right.
it's too
That's
easy
the
to quit
old
now.
school
People call you
mentality.
and say, I quit. They
Yeah.
text you. They don't
Right.
talk to you no
Right.
more. Just quit.
Right.
I gotta ask
and
you-
you see that because the parents are, they're busy with their own jobs. Everyone's got to work 2 jobs, and they're not that much involved. Hey, okay, do whatever you're gonna do. Just stay out of my hair.
But I get it. My mom's a single mom, raised 2 kids. My mom made us go to practice, so she
Sure,
had someone to
right.
watch
Yeah,
us.
you're right.
We had we quit. She beat the heck out of us.
Right, they need a break too, right? They need a break to
exactly
set you
right.
on your way.
Exactly right. I don't
Let
get
me
it.
ask you, we talked about the differences to the COVID in Ohio. Was it, Jags, 9 minutes they're allowed to practice?
9 minutes until they go to it. They got to take a break for a minute and a half, get water balls. Every kid has his own water ball.
We do have that.
Yeah, but
Yes,
you
we
do
do
have
have
to
that.
do like
we,
a 9 minute, the 12, yeah.
What they did in West Virginia now, they said you have everyone's water bottle, but not in practice. We have a cooler in practice, but our kids do have waters individual.
cups?
But one person that I assigned to, like adult, has to get their water bottle and put the water in. And he has to wear gloves. Same thing in the game. Tomorrow we have 24 water bottles. We did that in the scrimmage, and the water boys, God bless them, they gave the sophomores, the seniors, they gave the
They're gonna write their name on the bottle.
Exactly. So we were all over the place. And then the coaches, we didn't realize we had no water. Because we were thirsty. We have a water
bring another
bottle.
jug with you.
Exactly. So it is tough. The toughest part is the locker room.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you. It's tough because you want to follow it, and I had one group get dressed, the other group stand outside. It's kind of odd. It's a little different atmosphere, but it is what it is.
You're playing Wahama Friday. Is that at home?
That's at Fairmont East West Stadium.
So now you're going to go down or drive on a bus, uniforms. Are they going to allow you to
Shower. Have to shower. Have to shower after the game.
Good.
Before you get on the bus. And I'm happy because I'm
a lot
going to
of
be
places
honest.
like you're getting on. You can't. You can't
Well,
come
in
into
Ohio, you
facilities.
can't. Like when Big Red
Right, you
played
can't.
at Mooney, they had a 2-hour ride to Youngstown. They weren't allowed to shower.
That doesn't make no sense. I'm going to be honest with you. I felt uncomfortable last week when we went to our scrimmage at home. Then we got right back on the bus. You're hot. You're sweating. The bus got steamy. We couldn't roll down the windows because it was raining. I'm not. It got a
Holy
little
smokes.
crazy in there. I prefer to take a shower. I was making that rule because in 2 days I made them shower before we practice, just to be safe.
Sure,
just
yeah,
to
right.
be safe. But it's been a little bit
You
of
don't want
pain.
24, 21 kids stinking.
Yeah, like I had half kids in the wrestling room, half in the locker room. So really, the team bonding thing it's tough with the virus. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Oh yeah. Sure.
It's tough. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Wahama going down there to play at Fairmont. And first of all, how long is that drive?
Probably 2 hours for us. I
2
think
hour
2
drive.
hours 10 minutes. Yeah.
So you're going down there on Saturday or Friday?
No, Friday night.
Tomorrow
7
night.
o'clock. Yep.
Tomorrow night. Okay, what can you tell us about Wahama? What kind of offense, defense they like to run?
Okay.
What your strengths are going against them coming up?
Gotcha. They are a wing T shotgun team.
Wow.
They run jet sweep. They run trap off it. They're empty. They like the empty formation to run jet, to run trap. And they also like the double wing formation where they run power and X lead. The quarterback's a pretty good player, more of a runner than a thrower. So once we jinx myself, we probably throw for 300 yards tomorrow and run for 2.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
But yeah, but that's what he does in one scrimmage. That's tough at one scrimmage because
Sure.
you don't know.
You don't
It's
know.
vanilla.
Right.
We're both vanilla.
Right.
There's no special teams in a scrimmage because you ran plays,
Right.
so you have no idea coming out. So you got to make adjustments on the run.
Mm-hmm.
And they put a lot of guys in the box. They put 7 guys in the box.
Who's your staff this year? I see it here, but
yeah, I have a lot of Weir High guys I brought. I brought myself, of course. I have Joe Petrovich, who's been with me for 16 years. I coached him at Weir High. He's been in Pennsylvania with me, Weirton with me. He's my offensive coordinator with Doug Taylor, the former Madonna
coach,
coach.
yeah.
He's the offensive coordinator with Joe. I have Eric Berkheimer, who played for Weir High in 1997, was our quarterback. I have Justin Horseman, who played 2008, was our quarterback. And I have Eric Hayden, who played 2005
Yeah, we
state
know
championship team. He's my offensive line coach. And I got Connor and Leah coaching my
nice.
receivers. And I got John Barnhart, who helps with everything.
Barney.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. I'll tell you one thing. Without him, we wouldn't be taking that trip next week.
Yeah.
He did a lot of fundraising for me. We had to raise money for the bus ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And he went out there and busted his butt for me.
That's
and
great.
got the money so we could play.
Well, we appreciate coming in today. We're going to be doing this every week, so we
Yep.
can't wait to talk to you next Thursday. I won't be here. These guys will be here,
Sure.
but hopefully talking about
That's
a
right.
victory.
You're going to Myrtle Beach.
I'm going to go to
14-day.
About 8
14.
days. Yeah, I'm
We're gonna
not.
put you up
That's not
14 days.
happening. That's not happening. So appreciate it, Dan.
No
good
problem.
luck on Friday or tomorrow night. We'll
Thank
talk
you.
to again
Good
next
seeing
week.
you guys
All right.
again.
Good seeing you,
Go
brother.
Merchants.
There you go. We're Madonna head coach Dan Rivera. Let's take a timeout. We'll be back with Brooke head coach Mac McClain right after these words.
Let's be real. The odds of a high school athlete getting a college scholarship and making it to the pros are pretty slim. Don't get me wrong, it's okay to dream of becoming a pro athlete, even a famous one. But that's not why I play. My reason why? I love the competition.
My reason why is community.
My reason why is leadership.
My reason why is to challenge myself.
My reason why is love for the game.
And hey, if we don't make it to the pros or onto the cover of Sports Illustrated, that's okay. Because there's every reason to believe we'll excel in something even bigger than sports. We'll excel in life.
There are lots of great reasons to play high school sports. Tell us your reason using.
Why pay high vision center costs? Shop Ace Optical in downtown Steubenville. Just bring in your prescription and save.
Ace Optical, we've got your look.
Hauser's, Steubenville's first family of furniture, is celebrating 75 years of serving the Ohio Valley. Could not have accomplished this without the loyalty of all our customers. To say thank you, we are offering the largest savings store-wide. 75 years of savings on sofas, recliners, bedroom suites, and dinette sets. Unheard of pricings on carpet, flooring, and appliances too. If you need it, remember, for the past 75 years,
Hauser's has it.
Hauser's has it all.
Want to become a sponsor of this online sports broadcast? It's easy. Look us up on Facebook under Ohio Valley Sports Online. Drop us a message right on our wall or shoot us an email. More bang for your buck. Why? Because it's not radio. It's an online internet sports broadcast with unlimited and endless potential for you. Why settle for less when you can advertise with the best? Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Welcome back, everyone, to Stryker Sports Bar here at the Holiday Lanes in downtown Weirton. You get a chance to stop on by and enjoy some good food, some bowling. I stink at bowling, by the way, but and I come back every week for it, and every week it just shoves it. And here's my bowling coach. First game, I'm happy to be here. I'm doing okay. Middle of the second game or so, starts to fall apart. By the third frame of the last game, I'm like, are we done yet? It's the same story every week, but bowling's a good sport. It's fun.
I'm not much of a bowler either.
Oh, it stinks. So we're joined by Mac McClain, the head coach of the Brooke Bruins, and coach 18 of 22 starters coming back. A rough year last year, 3-7, but with that many guys coming back, you got to feel good about the fact that you have a lot of lettermen back and guys you can count on.
You know, especially in the short practice frame that we're on, I've said this a couple times in other interviews, the experience that we have coming back has really benefited us. I know it's probably unique, but you know, out of those senior group, I got 18 seniors this year. 7 of them will be 4-year lettermen when it's done. So, you know, while we're trying to catch the freshmen up, the seniors are kind of standing there with their palms in the air. They want to keep things moving, but I think it's a bonus for us to have that much experience back. That's for sure.
How many years now you starting here?
Oh, this will be my 7th year.
7th year?
7th season. Yeah.
Now we bring up the COVID. I mean, that's you know, everybody knows what's going on, and you know, all the years you've been involved in football and in 7 years as a head coach at Brooke. You know, you ever seen anything weirder than what's going on now?
It's like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, you know, we told the kids today, you know, after the Thursday walkthrough, I let all the coaches talk, and we told them, you know, you got to approach this with the attitude of life that tomorrow's not promised to you.
Right.
You know, we're going to play Friday. We've got that confirmed, but the future, other than that, we don't know. And tell them that you can't dwell on that. It's like life. You can't dwell on your anxiety, or it'll eat up the games that we do get. So.
I know you probably get asked this a lot, Coach. You know, you're trying to rebuild Brooke. You know, I mean, when I was in high school, I mean, Brooke was a powerhouse. You know, now it seems like you're getting back to where you're good. You got your numbers are up. It looks like it.
Yeah.
You got some seniors coming back. Maybe this year turn it around. And maybe get Brooke back to where it used to be.
I will say that, you know, and I put this on myself. The expectations have to be high. I mean, with that many starters coming back, and you know, a few years ago we had a good season, and I did interviews, and people said, well, congratulations, you brought Brooke back. Well, that's not just going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
Our numbers, when you look at our roster, our numbers are up pretty good, but for an instance, we had a freshman game today, so the freshmen weren't at walkthroughs. Yeah. Most of our numbers are in our freshman class, and they're a very talented group. They went undefeated in their junior high league last year. They were playing Park. It was 7-0 when I left. We were winning, and the numbers are good, but you know, we're going to run into a situation next year where you're going to be back to a team that's probably going to have 5 seniors on it, and you know the class behind them, they have about 10 or 12 right now, and it's rough keeping the numbers up. That's for sure.
Let me ask you about when you first found out about what was going on, and you get, they meet with you, they give you restrictions, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's not as much in West Virginia as it is in Ohio, but it's still, what was it like when you first heard about this and what you were going to have to do as a coach for your kids?
I mean, I think I had the reaction not just as a coach, but from working in the school up there. How are we going to do this? When the first rules came out and they said we're going to have one kid per seat and skipping seats on the buses, and that's the first thing they come to you with. It's like, well, we're going to have about 7 buses to go on the road, and we have trouble getting 2. And
the drivers.
we are trying everything that we can to do. I mean, you want your team to be close. You spend the whole summer saying get away from each other, stand away from each other, put your mask up, this, that, and the other. But I think we're focused. I think we're ready to play. Everybody's dealing with it. Every time I tell kids that spread out, this, that, and the other, it's like we're not. This isn't just us. Everybody in this valley is going through this. Everybody who wants to play high school football is doing this. And if you want to play, these are the things that we're going to have to do to play.
Yeah. Your schedule, I'm looking at this. You got Hedgesville this week, tomorrow night actually. Yeah. And then you talked about university. Numbers are starting to climb there. There's a possibility of that. And then you were also scheduled to play Brashear, PA, when PA is shut down. Yeah. So what has happened in that spot?
Well, as far as university, we were talking about a little bit ago. We've got some calls into 3 different schools. So I mean, it's the athletic directors are definitely earning their money right now. I was sitting with Sean. He said he had to reschedule 4 soccer games. So we got 3 potential opponents for next week. And as far as I know, and you might got information that I didn't, that Brashear, the last I heard, was planning on coming.
Oh, they're playing. PA, they canceled it, and then they overruled that lady or guy, whoever's there. They're playing football in PA.
And we were supposed to go up there this year. They came down, but I think one of the main reasons they want to come down is we're actually letting people into the games.
Yeah.
So there'll be some sort of atmosphere. There'll be a band, the cheerleaders, dance team. Yeah.
So this basically is going to be a week-to-week thing. I mean, you really don't know from week to week whether or not you're going to have a game next week or you're going to not have the game next week. Right. And that's got to be maddening, not only for coaches but for players going, oh, my God, are we going to play this week or are we not? Mm-hmm. We're going to have to come to practice, And
it's once again, that's just something that everybody's going through. We didn't get to have a scrimmage this year. We put Oak Glen on the schedule, and that's normally one of our scrimmages, and my brother over at St. Clairsville is our other. And we lost him, and so we had to do an inter-squad, and I got ready to send it away to Hedgesville thinking, man, he's going to be mad he's getting an inter-squad. Yeah. Well, I got it sent back to me, Coach. Our field got rained out. We had an inter-squad. It's a train wreck.
Yeah.
God bless you. Don't be mad at me. So it's just another one of those things where they haven't scrimmaged anybody. We haven't scrimmaged anybody. So I guess it's all level field.
Do you and Brett get along? I mean, how come you don't schedule each other every year? I would think that would be awesome.
I'll tell you right now, I wasn't the coach at Brooke High School for more than 10 minutes before the first reporter called and said, okay, when's it going down?
Right.
And Brett's my best friend. I fish with him constantly and hunt with him. And
I think we might have did the last game when you guys played. Monte Rosa, I think, was playing for St. Clairsville at the time. We did that game. So.
Yes, and we just kind of made the pact between ourselves that we're not going to put our families through that.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad would be in the nut house the week leading up to that. And one of the cues that we got, and I've said this before in interviews, Kim Clifford being the basketball coach at St. Clairsville, and then Justin being at Harrison, they got to play each other for a few years, and now, of course, Ryan's doing it, and they just said, it wasn't a game that they look forward to.
Basketball, though, I think is a little different because it's a quicker game. You're not up 3 hours, and you're constantly, what's my brother going to do here? Is he going to try and throw me a curveball here? Yeah. Basketball, everybody's right there. You can see what's going on, but football is a little bit different.
Now in the world of COVID, you never know.
Yeah,
I mean, if it comes down to playing little brother or sitting home for a weekend, both of us, I mean, it'll have to happen.
Yeah,
but it's
awesome.
Not something that we've planned on.
No.
Just tell the people it's the Buckeye 8 schedule. He's already got 7 games already scheduled before it starts.
Right.
There you go. That takes you out of the loop.
Let's talk about your offense now. You said you got a lot of lettermen coming back. What kind of offense are you running at Brooke? Who are some of the guys that you'll be counting on?
With every offense, it starts with the quarterback. We got Josh Shorts back. Josh ended up at quarterback last year more out of necessity. He was a defensive lineman. He was a quarterback in City League, and we just really didn't have an heir apparent when Gage Yost went out the door, and he stepped in, and I didn't know how it would go. And early in the years he played like a young quarterback. He had some games where he threw a lot of interceptions, but towards the end of the year, just like any other quarterback, that's what I did for Brett. I coached quarterbacks for 12 years. He developed, and he became a better ball carrier, and the kid is a born leader. I mean, he's a youth pastor. He's a vocal kid. He's a weight room kid. He's just what you want.
I remember when Alex Buckmelder was a sophomore at Brooke. I mean, there's always the growing pains as a sophomore, which I think really bumps you up as a junior and senior, because if you didn't start quarterbacking until you were a junior, then I don't know what's going to happen here. But by his senior year, but having a sophomore quarterback, getting that experience, he's got to be able to hit the ground running his junior and senior years because he's familiar now.
Yeah. Now the one luxury that we have going into this year that we didn't have last year is a kid named Logan Gashler, who is came up from middle school. He was a lineman, and we turned him into a quarterback last year. And the kid really took it to heart, and he worked all winter. And Josh is our guy. That's who we want. But it's a good feeling to know that we're not going to have to start moving wide receivers to quarterback and this, that, and the other, because I've done that a couple times in my career, and it doesn't pan out to be a very good Friday night when you got to change that position.
It's always nice to start at the quarterback spot when you got your leader at the quarterback spot, because he's doing all the talking in the huddle, They're listening to him, that's a good start. You got a guy coming back, like you said, he's got experience under his belt. That's got to help you guys getting ready for, like you said, no scrimmages. He's got games ready to go.
Right.
Absolutely.
I look at when you talk about your quarterback, and now he's really very familiar with your offense. Are you doing anything more differently this year? Are you go into the season saying, I think we're going to have to ground and pound because I got a sophomore quarterback. Now my guy's a junior. Maybe I can open us up more.
I think when coming from St. Clairsville, when I was there with like Dan Monterosa and those guys, we were a spread, wide open offense, and that's what I like. But we've adopted more. We're going to be more of a tight end oriented pro I team. For the first time in several years, we're going to have some boys up front that can hold their own. We've been pretty small up there, and we got some kids that we think we're going to be able to move around. We got two really good running backs in Drake Kukel and Dougie Gabbert, who came off the bench for Max Camilletti last year, so we got two good options there. At receiver, Aaron Scipio and Joey Fiscardo have been starting out there since they were freshmen.
There's always a Fiscardo in the Brooke program, isn't there?
Constantly.
Always over at Brooke.
Aaron was a kid. Aaron, his athletic potential is off the charts, but he's a kid that's struggled with concussions through high school. We weren't sure if we were going to have him this year, but it was a nice surprise when he got checked out a couple weeks ago, and the doctors gave him the go-ahead, said go ahead and play now. We're trying to protect him a little bit. He's not going to play in a secondary for us except very specific situations, and he's not real happy about that. But I've told him you're one ding away, and it's going to be over.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
We're going to try to keep him healthy.
I had one a couple of years ago. Believe me, it's no fun. I mean, it's just darkened rooms and everything.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about defense. As you come into this season, what kind of defense will you run? It will be 4-3, 3-4, 4-2-5. What
we're going to be a base 4-3 cover 2 team. I mean that's pretty standard. One of the kingpins of our defense or linchpins of our defense is once again Josh Shorts, because I've got my starting quarterback playing Mike linebacker, which which will give you an ulcer. But you're going to see. Unfortunately, unlike a lot of AAA teams, we got to go both ways in a lot of positions. And a lot of the names that you're going to see on the offensive side, you're going to see on the defensive side. Our depth has enabled us to relieve them on special teams. I mean, last year they were playing everything. Like a guy like Josh Schwartz would go on the field, and I wouldn't see him until the end of the game because you couldn't take him off. But hopefully we can keep him fresh that way. Like I said, I think Logan Gashler is going to give us an option, maybe not to make a change there, but Josh is going to have to sit down once in a while. He's not going to be able to take every snap. We've seen it in practice. So other than that, defensively, we got so many seniors. When I do these interviews, I hate it because I walk out and I'm like, man, I didn't mention this kid and I didn't mention that kid. But one kid that's going to be playing up front for us this year, his name's Hayden Parr. We call him Bubba. And he's a kid that, has really high-end potential. You're talking about a 300-pound kid that runs pass routes at practice and makes catches on defensive backs and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of big kids around, but big kids who can run. And, he works for his dad's concrete business, and he's strong as a moose. And I'm looking for big things out of Hayden Parr on defense this year.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're broadcasting live from Stryker Sports Bar at Holiday Lanes in downtown Steubenville. Or downtown Weirton. They are the sponsor of the coaches' shows tonight. We'll be back with Brooke head coach Mac McLean to talk about his special teams and his first opponent after these words.
The meaning of cleaning, there's one name you gotta know. Apollo Pro Cleaning, clean floor to ceiling. Apollo
sidewalk that needs replaced, or maybe your roof is leaking? How about some new windows? Who do you call? Fort Steuben Maintenance, that's who. Commercial or residential, they can handle most any project, big or small. They also do new construction and renovations. So get a free estimate by calling Fort Steuben Maintenance today and get them started on your next project. 740-283-4890 for Fort Steuben Maintenance. Want to become a sponsor of this online sports broadcast? It's easy. Look us up on Facebook under Ohio Valley Sports Online. Drop us a message right on our wall or shoot us an email. More bang for your buck. Why? Because it's not radio. It's an online internet sports broadcast with unlimited and endless potential for you. Why settle for less when you can advertise with the best? Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Valley Converting, located in Toronto, Ohio, purchases paper products from the public daily. Valley Converting is a manufacturer and converter of 100% recycled paperboard. For information or questions about Valley Converting products and services, contact them at 740-537-2152. Valley Converting is located on South 4th Street in Toronto, Ohio. Take your paper recyclables to them and convert them into cash. Valley Converting is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
His first name's Ben. I won't butcher his last name. I can't even say it.
Welcome back, everyone, to Striker Sports Bar, the West Virginia Coaches Shows with head coach of the Brooke Bruins, Mac McLean. Coach, let's talk about, we've talked about your offense, we've talked about your defense. Let's talk a bit about your special teams, who you're looking for in your kicking game, your punting game, things of that nature.
Punting will be handled by Aaron Scipio. He was, before he got knocked out with a concussion last year, he was a punter as a junior, and he punted for us as a sophomore. I mean, he's just doing it on natural athleticism. He's not he's not your classic punter, but he can get the ball down the field. And kicking, our kickoff duties will be handled by Quinlan Blair, who's a varsity soccer player. Strong leg, first guy that we've had in a while that can put the ball down inside the 10-yard line with some accuracy, and that's going to be good.
That seems where everybody's getting their kickers anymore. It's from soccer teams.
Yeah, and he'll kick our field goal attempts, our longer field goal attempts. But tomorrow, after our team meal, we have to have a kickoff for who's going to kick extra points, and it's going to be between him and Bailey Saravich, who is the only girl to ever score any points in the history of Brooke High School in a varsity football game. She kicked the field goal at the end of a massacre over at Wheeling Creek,
awesome, yeah.
Indian Creek last year, and they're going to go the best out of 10, and whoever hits it is going to do it, and that's a luxury. Every time the girl gets up there and she kicks the ball, she can hit a 25 or 30 yarder. I said, there are people in this valley that kill for this girl right now, and her grandfather's on my coaching staff. I said, don't take it personally, but if I was an NFL coach, I said she'd be on a trading block right now. I'd be bringing somebody in. But Bailey's a pleasure to be around. She's a varsity girls basketball and soccer, and she's an athlete. Yeah. She's pretty good at extra points, that's for sure.
Hey, when they go out there and kick, I mean, there's no, hey, here's your kicker, girl. Number.
Yeah. You're talking about extra points. There's a game on TV right now. Toronto and Harrison can't make extra points. 6-6. Can't make extra points.
It's a luxury. I actually just we had a junior high scrimmage down there a little bit ago, and I just watched a 7th grader kick an extra point that would have probably been good from about 40. So Brooke's going to have some kickers coming up.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's a big part of the game, special teams. And we talk about these missed extra points. I was telling Coach Dan and Coach Cassini that there isn't enough. I mean, in our valley, I don't think there's enough. Maybe a handful of programs, but there's not enough emphasis on the kicking game.
Yeah.
The punter and the kicker. We see so many kids in high school averaging maybe 27 to 30 yards punting.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's 15 of that is when you take the snap, so you're really not kicking that far. And extra points, how important they are.
Oh, they're huge.
And the other night, what game was it? Indian Creek. Cambridge scored and didn't kick. They went for 2 and got it.
Yeah.
So when Andrew, his team scored, he was like, well, I was thinking about kicking an extra point, but we went for 2 and didn't get it. And then you second guess. I said, I'd rather be tied because if you kick it, you're still losing.
Absolutely.
And there's no guarantee that either one of you are going to score the rest of the game. So I would try to tie it up. But kicking is just so – it's not – it doesn't seem like as much time is spent on it.
No. I know that my years over at St. Clairsville, Brett's had one of the best special teams coaches in the valley, and Mike Jacobs over there. He's a member of the board. He doesn't get to be there all the time, but they preach it over there. They have their own separate practice for it, and we like to get to that, but with the amount of practice time that we've lost this year,
that's brutal.
It's brutal. It's finding time to do things. And
did you get the scrimmage or anything like that?
No, we're going to go out and we're going to find out what we're ready for tomorrow night. I think there's a lot of coaches right now that probably aren't going to sleep very much tonight.
Oh, I bet. Hedgesville comes to town tomorrow night. How far away are they from you guys?
They're about 4 hours away.
Wow.
From here. Yeah, we drove out there last year. It's a haul, that's for sure.
Here's another question. I know in the playoffs, if you got a home game and you're playing a team that's 4 hours away, they can either choose Friday night or Saturday afternoon, like at 1 o'clock, something like that. When you're scheduling Hedgesville and they got to come that far, is there any discussion of that, whether, hey, we want to play Friday or Saturday? What do you think?
No, I mean, not with that matchup. I mean, I've had a couple long-distance games. We played Princeton 2 years ago. We did a 2-year deal with that, and we just traveled to their stadiums. And now in the situation we're at, I don't know if anybody would host a neutral site game. I mean, you're going to bring two kids in or two groups in from two different communities and put them on your facilities. I don't know if anybody would be up for that.
On the Ohio side, it did it last week. Youngstown State hosted Mooney and Steubenville Big Red,
yeah.
And there was all kind of restrictions and everything for that too. So you're going into somebody else's building, they're going to tell you this is what you can do, what you can't do, and take it or leave it. So.
Absolutely.
So what does Hedgesville bring to the table? What kind of team are they?
Hedgesville is a very young team. I think they're in a situation where they have 5 seniors, and I think they have 18 or 19 sophomores. From what I've seen on film, and really all I got was a practice film from them. They're big. I mean, they're going to be big across the front, but they're very young. You can tell just by looking at the kids. They've got several sophomores up there. Their X factor is their quarterback, and his name is slipping my mind right now. But their coach in their press release down there claimed that he's the best athlete in the state of West Virginia this year.
Wow. That's pretty big.
I mean, that's pretty high praise.
Yeah.
I don't know every athlete in the state of West Virginia, but I can tell you this: the kid's a headache. He's
the best athlete in Hedgesville, at least, right?
He's that nightmare kid though that you get him in 3rd and long, and you got the receivers covered, and he tucks the ball under his arm and he runs for 20 yards, and those kind of kids will.
So you're gonna have somebody shadow him, one of your linebackers, or something, to make sure that he.
We're gonna have somebody try, but he can move. I don't know if he's the best in the state, but he's definitely an athlete.
You'll spy him like we were talking the other night about. So you guys do that. You will spy the quarterback.
Yeah.
We were talking to the guy from Josh last night from Toronto, and he was like, "We're not going to do that against Kobe Mitchell." But you're.
Whoa.
I know.
Yeah, right.
I said the same thing.
He's the real deal.
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
He is the real deal. That's for sure.
We're going to take the attitude, talking to Kent Kidder, my defensive coordinator, the attitude that we're going into the game with is stop him first.
Yeah.
If the running back who's playing for him, who didn't play for him last year, if that kid has a breakout night as a sophomore and beats us because we're worried about this kid, then that's a feather in their cap. But it starts and it ends with that kid. I mean, they announced him that he wasn't going to be a quarterback this year, that they were moving him to wide receiver. Well, I watched their inter-squad scrimmage, and I watched 2 quarterbacks try to move the offense, and they had him at tailback, and they were handing him the ball, and they had him at receiver, and they were trying to throw him the ball.
Yeah.
And then they put him at quarterback, and he went right down the field in 2 plays and scored. And I said,
I
think they just made their decision right there.
Right. Now let's talk about offensively. How are you going to attack Hedgesville from what you've seen on the scrimmage film or whatever you had on that when you come out? I mean, it's first game, and it's at home, and you're coming out there for the first time. How are you going to go after them?
I think we're going to go straight at them. They're either running a 3-4-2, and I'm a believer that it takes 3 special human beings to play a three-man defensive line, and I think the best way to attack them is hit them quick. We're gonna try to work in between the tackles, get the ball in the ball carrier's hand, and get him going through those bubbles. Because when you only got 3 up there,
you would think you'd have to almost blitz one of those guys every play. I mean, because 3 is not very many when you're going against maybe 5.
The year we went 0-10 2 years ago. We put in a 3-5, and we lived and died by blitzing everybody every down because we knew physically we couldn't stand up to our opponents. And honestly, that's kind of what I'm getting off their film. They're in a 3-man front, but they're sending at least 2 linebackers every down because I don't think they have the confidence to just sit in it.
No, that'd be kind of tough.
It's tough to play a 3-5 when you got young guys up there.
Yeah.
You're asking for a lot of trouble.
Yep.
Especially if you're blitzing your 2 linebackers and that back breaks the hole. Now you're asking for a lot.
And even another problem with the 3-5s, it's simple math as far as I'm concerned. If you have 5 offensive linemen and they only have 3 defensive linemen, and they're only going to bring those 3, your guy should never be touched, your quarterback, ever, right?
Yeah.
And for those 3 kids up front, if that's all they're going to do and not blitz guys, they're going to be tired.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to go against some double teams, at least one or two of them. They're going against double teams every single play. So that's tough to run in a 3-5.
Yeah. Other than attack the middle, we're gonna try our short passing game. Camden Bates graduated last year. He was our deep threat. He could take the top off a lot of defenses. Nobody's really emerged like that, but in Fiscardo and Scipio, we've got some pretty good possession receivers, and honestly, there's a handful of receivers down on that freshman team that are probably going to end up in the rotation. They've got 3 or 4 receivers down there that have been making plays all summer against our secondary, and they're just athletes.
If you can play football, it doesn't matter how old you are, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and you can survive out there at wide receiver for a little while if you're in the 9th grade.
Hey, Jags, well, we got these West Virginia coaches over. We need to get some gear from them, man. I need some Weirton gear. My wife has graduated from Brooke. I don't have a Brooke shirt. Come on. No, my wife has every Big Red shirt in the county, but I don't have a Brooke shirt.
Yeah, you should have said something.
Yeah.
I know a guy up there.
You know a guy?
That big keychain right there, all those keys. I can find you something.
I'm just saying, all these coaches walk in here. They got these Brooke, Weirton.
Yeah,
and
right.
Me and Jason, we played softball with Wormall for 15 years. I didn't get nothing from Weirton Madonna.
I tell you what, that's one place where we're going to be suffering a little in the fashion department with the coaching staff because we didn't have time to order anything. Yeah. So we're all sitting in the coach's office. It's like, we got a real game. What the heck are we going to wear tomorrow night? Well, we all found a T-shirt that matches. It kind of looks like this.
That'll work.
Speaking of your coaching staff, let's go through who all. I know Paul Giulio is a friend of mine for a long time.
Yeah.
I recognize the name Ryan Sherrick from being a former Bruin player.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the other guys that you have?
Ryan Sherrick's going to serve as my offense coordinator this year. Paul's been my first assistant since I've been there, so if I get sent to the showers, Paul will be coming down and taking over the show. I'm not planning on that happening. My mom would be very, very upset with me. Kent Kidder is going to be our defense coordinator. I think Kent's been coaching just as long as I've been on God's earth, so he's running our defense. Tommy Cole is going to be his defensive assistant, and let me see who else here. Todd Sparringer and Mike Baczynski are 2 guys that are running the junior high right now. They're going to have Friday night duties, but they've been with the junior high mostly. Jason Williamson is going to be our personnel man on the sideline. Sheriff Palmer is going to be our signal guy on the sideline, and Jeremy Sadler, who's the assistant offensive coordinator, is the guy who's going to keep me from throwing the ball too much.
Yeah,
I remember when he played. Said he's going to give me so many chips, and every time I want a pass play, I got to give one to him. And when I'm out, I'm not allowed to throw the ball anymore because apparently I get a little pass happy.
Oh,
at
yeah, I
times.
love watching a passing game. Running gets boring after a while, especially if you don't bust the ball.
That's what I tell him.
Yeah.
I said nobody's
all
here,
that does is
nobody's
keep
here
time,
to watch a 3-yard gain. They want to see the deep ball.
Exactly. Woody Hayes has been dead a long time. Well, Coach, we appreciate the time coming on today. We look forward to talking to you each week here, and hopefully next week we're talking about a 1-0 start against Hedgesville and
a week 2 game.
Yeah, whether or not you're going to have a week 2 game, that's going to be a big topic. Huh? Yeah. So hopefully their numbers decrease whatever's going on down there, and we're at university, right? It's Morgantown, right? So. Yeah. So, appreciate time as always, and good luck on Friday night.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, guys.
Yep.
Thank you, Coach. Hey, Coach,
Thanks, Coach.
Mac McLean of the Brooke Bruins. Let's take a time out and wrap it up after this.
Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890.
Why pay high vision center costs? Shop Ace Optical in downtown Steubenville. Just bring in your prescription and save.
Ace Optical, we've got your look.
Just to welcome back everyone to Striker Sports Bar. We want to thank Charlie Whiteman here at Striker Sports Bar in the Holiday Lanes Bowling Alley for sponsoring the coaches shows today with Frank Sassini, our first coach from Weir High, Dan Rivera from Weirton Madonna, and, of course, Mac McLean from the Brooke Bruins, who have those 3 guys each and every Thursday here at the Holiday starting at 6 o'clock. So, finally, West Virginia gets to play this week.
Got my mic turned on. You're killing me, Danny.
He's not engineer extraordinary anymore. He's
anymore.
just engineer right now.
COVID's got everybody all messed up.
So
it's nice to have more games to watch, Jags. It's nice here. We can sit here and turn around and watch the Toronto Harrison game on TV.
Absolutely. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back again next Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday is the Ohio teams from Bennigan's. Thursday, the West Virginia coaches right here as Strikers. Join us tomorrow night from Harding Stadium as the Dover Tornadoes invade Harding Stadium to take on Steubenville Big Red. Kickoff at 7. Your pregame begins at 6:30. We'll see you then.